Hello, I am here on a layover, but I haven't been vlogging it because it's really short. It's like not a fun layover. I'm not leaving the hotel, really short rest times, and there's not a lot going on. But I did want to make the most of my free time, my quiet time of being in a hotel, and I thought I would just kind of piggyback on the vlog that I put out on Sunday. And that one was Flight Attendant Mom, and it was all about how I transitioned into motherhood and how I'm juggling my flight attendant life and my mom life. So this is a video I actually wanted to record for Vlogmas. I had like all these ideas. I just didn't really have the time. And I've watched these videos on YouTube before. I really enjoy watching them. But today I'm gonna be talking about baby names that I like but didn't use. And when I was pregnant, me and my husband decided we wanted to be surprised when our baby was born, so we never found out the gender. We didn't find out we were having a boy until I actually gave birth to a boy. So we always kind of had a running list of names. Both of us actually thought I'd be having a girl, so we had more girl names and like a solid girl name that we loved, but we never really nailed down the boy name until I gave birth and needed to name a baby boy. I actually did have a boy name that I was in love with. I'm still in love with it. If we have a second child and that child happens to be a boy, I'm pushing for this name still, even though my husband wasn't like 100% set on it. So I'm not gonna share that name in this vlog, but I do still have my boy name floating out there in case that ever happens. And if you're new to this channel and you just clicked on this video because of the title, quick intro, my name is Jacqueline. I am a private flight attendant. That means I get to fly around on those fancy private jets. And as I mentioned, I have a baby boy. The name we went with for him is Nicholas. All right, so I have my phone with my list of names that I added to throughout my pregnancy. It's quite a long list, you can scroll. And I also did have some questions about baby names, and I'll answer those after I share all of the names with you. All right, for a girl, I really liked the name Vail, spelled like Vail, Colorado. I think it's very pretty. No one was on board with that name in my family. My husband didn't like it. When I ran it by my mom, she said she didn't really like it. I think it's a very pretty name, and it's a unique name without being like Apple or one of those like weird celebrity names. I also really like the name Valerie. I think it's just a gorgeous name. So my first two girl names both start with a V. It seems like there's a theme there. I wasn't going for that. I just happen to think those are gorgeous names. And then next up on my list, I have the name Hudson. I still love that name. I just feel like there's a lot of Hudsons out there. I feel like it's a pretty popular name right now. And we weren't going for like a unique name that no other kid had. I feel like Nicholas or Nick is a pretty common name, especially like in the Italian culture, which is what I am. I have plenty of Nicks in my family already. Like this is not the first one, but I feel like Hudson is one of those trendy of the moment baby names. Okay, I also kind of sense a theme in the next two names that I have on my list. They sound very British. I like the name Poppy for a girl or Finn for a boy. I just think the little name Poppy for a girl sounds adorable. And then when she's older, Poppy is also an appropriate name. Next up on the list is like the Italian section. These are all very standard Italian names that I love. Francesca is the first one I have on the list. Luciana. And my problem with Luciana is it's spelled Luciana. Italians pronounce the C-I like a ch, but I feel like people would look at that name and call her Luciana, which is a fine name in its own, but not the name I was going for. I also really like the name Carmela. When I was growing up, I asked my mom to call me Carmela. I couldn't understand why that wasn't my name. I have Emma on this list. I love the name Emma. I think it's a beautiful name. I also have Romy on here. And now that I'm reading that back, I still like the name. I just don't know if I would ever actually name my child Romy. Okay, the next name on my list is I think what I'm gonna use for a girl name instead of my original girl name. So I'm gonna skip over that one for now. So going back to boys, I love the name George. I think it's a great name. I also like the name Serafina, but I didn't necessarily want to shorten that name to Sarah. On the list for a boy, I have Giuseppe, very Italian. I also have the name Elisabetta, and my middle name is Elizabeth, so I thought that would be a nice spin on that. I have the name Gemma on here, and I first heard that name when I was in Australia like 10 years ago. Actually, I think it was closer to like 15 years ago at this point. And I met a Gemma and I was like, oh my God, I love that name. Underneath Gemma on the list, I have the name Nicholas because it wasn't necessarily my first choice. Although looking at my kid, he's definitely a Nicholas, my little Nicky. Under Nick, I have Nolan. I've loved that name forever. Then I have Antonella, Celeste, Colette. For a boy, I liked Leo, but my cousin Dominic has a Leo, so I can't like really steal that from him. I like the name Oliver. Going back to a girl, I like the name Valentina a lot. And then going back to boys, I liked Walter, which my mom was not a huge fan of. I just think the name Walter is a great name. I also really liked Hank, Lou, not Louis, not Louis, just Lou, L-O-U. The name Salvatore, I love. Potentially, I could still have a Salvatore. And then the name Coco, which seems more nicknamey, but I just thought Coco was a great name. So those were all of the names on my baby list. My husband also sent me a list of baby names that he liked, and I have it saved in my phone. I just never put the two of them together. But when I was pregnant, I did get a lot of questions about naming the baby, and I figure why not just answer them in this vlog. So I got the question, are there any baby names that you hate? And yes, there are. There's two boy names that when I hear them, they just annoy me. And it's not because I know boys named this name, these two names. I just feel like they're associated with an annoying kind of person. I know it's terrible. Obviously, I'm not going to share those names because I don't want to offend anybody who has named those two names. But yes, I have two boy names that I feel very strongly against. Feel free to take a guess in the comments if you want to. But like I said, I'm not really going to share that info. Then I was asked if there was going to be a baby name theme. And what I think that means is, you know, when families name all of their kids the same letter of the alphabet, and we're not trying to do that. So no theme. We just picked the name that we really liked for our firstborn, and then we have an idea if we have future kids. When you're naming the baby, are you gonna try to pick a nickname or call the baby by its full name? So, as I said, my son's name is Nicholas, but I've referred to him as Nick. I pretty much call him Nick, and my husband pretty much calls him Nicholas. So it'll be up to Nicholas/Nick what he wants to go by. Either way, I like the full name and I like the short name. And then the last question, family names. As I mentioned, there's Nick in my family. One of the girl names that I really like is a shorter version of my grandmother's name. And then we also talked about my grandmother and my husband's grandmother combining their names for a first name and a middle name if we had a girl. So we like the family name. We like the tradition of honoring family members. So we wouldn't be against that at all. All right, and those are all the names that I had come up with when I was pregnant and expecting my baby. So thank you for watching. Please leave me a thumbs up. I need to finish getting ready and get to the airport because like I said, I fly today. So I will chat with you next Sunday. Thanks for watching.